Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to this week's segment of Live Without Limits. Today's show is titled The Elusive Buyer's Journey Exposed. The aim of marketing is to understand the customer so well that the product or service fits him and sells itself, said Peter Drucker. Every buyer goes on a similar journey to purchasing, regardless of what type of product or service they are looking for. First, they realize a need for awareness. Then they research or consideration, and then they purchase through their decision. The buyer's journey is based on what happens before the decision to buy has been made and continues even after the purchase. If you want repeat buyers, then you can use this information to lead the way to your product or service repeatedly if you create more than one solution for more than one problem. And let me tell you what I have been doing recently. I actually looked at someone that wrote a program that was about LinkedIn and how to market in 2018. The thing is, when I looked at the actual program and what was in it, it was not really geared towards giving you information. It was more geared towards helping you sell their product. All I had to do was go change the title and input not only some of their information, but much of my own, and I came up with a much better product that I can take and make an ebook, then I can repurchase it into a video series where I can put it on Skillshare. I can even create an e-course on it. So it's a way to take one product and multi-purpose it. What we're looking at is how you can take and build your business and understand what the buyer's needs are and really create a program that someone can use because you want them to be repeat business. What is happening is these people use JVZoo as their marketing tool, and what they do is they're teaching other people how to use things that really is common sense to a degree, but you have to go to different places to find out all this information. So if you got one ebook, it can condense it all into one place. And it's to teach you how to perfect your skills online when you build your online business. So when we're talking about the 3 ways that someone makes a decision before they buy, you got to remember, if you want repeat business, give them something that gives them value. Don't just say, we're going to sell you the front end for $9 or $10, and then if you want the deluxe end, you got to upsell yourself to get all of the features, because it doesn't always work that well, because what's going to happen is you will have many reluctant buyers. It's important to understand that your buyer's journey so that you can help lead them towards deciding to purchase your product or service. If you look at each stage of the buyer's journey, you can map out the type of content and marketing collateral you'll need to create and put it in their path to ensure that you stay on the right road. The right road is, of course, the one that leads them to purchase your solution. And last night, I attended a webinar that was about blogging. Now, this is someone who just started blogging in 2015, and he was monetizing his blog, so it made him a lot of money. And then all of a sudden, he's going to teach you how to do what he did. The thing is, this is a process that's been out there and a system that's been used by hundreds of thousands of people before he even came along. But what happens is you got people out there that have been blogging or writing articles, and they just don't know how to monetize it. So when this person says, oh, he's making $1,000 a day off of his blog, people will sit up and listen, and they will initially may put $1,500 into having him help them monetize and do all of that for them, just simply because, guess what? They don't want to put the time in to building their business, and they want it handed to them. But you know what? As an entrepreneur, it's not how you're building. It's about how you build your business to make it work for you. And to accomplish this, it's essential to understand the stages of the buyer's journey. And don't worry, it's as easy as A, B, C, and D. Awareness. Usually, buyers are trying to get information about their problem or are trying to identify their symptoms so they can find a solution to their problem. And in this instance, your first thing to do is ask the question so you can find what their pain is. Consideration. Now buyers know what their problem is, and they are trying to research it from all angles that they can understand everything that you help them solve their problem. So that's where you come up with the solution, but you have to take them on a journey to understand how your product can help solve their pain. And it's understanding how to write sales copy so that you're drawing them in and getting them to want to buy your product. D, decisions. Buyers at this point in the journey have become aware of their problem and due to their research, including yours, this is the time that they compare different solutions and the pros and cons of each, and finally make a choice. The idea here is to help them understand how you are unique and your product is unique and different than everything out there, and how you can give them what they need to solve their problem. But it's also giving them value and helping them understand that as a seller, you can help them, because every life coach, every career coach, they understand what the problem is, but they can help you find out how to decide what your life purpose is, what is your best talent, your strengths, and how you can use those strengths to do your best work, and then how to look at what your weaknesses are, and those are the things that you need to farm out to someone else, or find someone that knows how to write good sales copy if you can't. You should be and use content at each of these stages to inform, instruct, interact, and inspire them to act by buying your products and your services. You will need to understand their target or your target audience intimately. That means knowing who they are, what keeps them up at night, and how your business fits in with that by offering a solution to their problems. Okay, so let's talk about the three things again. You want to know what keeps them up at night, how your business fits into offering their solution, and knowing who your target audience is. Because if you can fit that niche, even though it may be a small niche, that as the expert, you may start out low, but then you start increasing your prices along the way, or because they are your customer, you can always go back and upsell them on new products that you are coming out that can help them. Because guess what? If they've already bought one product from you and you've given them customer service, then they will come back and purchase from you again. So the idea is to understand how you can help your customer and how you can help them solve their biggest problem. The buyer's perspective. It's important to look at each stage from the perspective of the buyer. For example, at the awareness stage, it's possible that your buyer has no idea that they even have a problem yet. Or if they do have a problem, they may not even know that your product or service exists. At the consideration stage, they know that they have a problem, but they need to learn about the solutions. Finally, knowing how the problem and the choices for solutions will lead the buyer to decision making on what they're going to purchase. And this is where you need to write articles and talk about some solutions. You may not give them the answers, but the idea is you're helping them understand that they have a problem. Then you can always get them by asking questions for them to fill out, to consider and look at your website and your products and think about how those products can help them. And at this stage, you're educating your audience. Therefore, it's your job to educate the target audience about the problem and the solution in a way that leads them through the buying cycle effectively. Naturally, the right solution is your solution, and the content you create will make that clear. That's why you need to know all the various types of content and the different formats that content can have for you, as well as the types you need to use at each stage of the buying cycle. However, the first rule of business is not to overcomplicate matters. Yes, you want great records. Yes, you want a detailed plan in place, but don't make it so hard on yourself. Use the buying journey to inform you about the goal of the content so it's easier to create. Knowing the goal of any piece of content before you create it makes it so much easier to create. Here are the reasons why. And now we're going to talk about writing blogs to inform people. And I have a website that's called bestmindsetever.com. And the purpose of this is to help people understand how to create the best mindset possible and to stay there, because you and only you can sabotage your success, because Don't look for someone else to make you happy or satisfied in the job. That comes from within you. And how you do that is to understand who you are and what your strengths are. What are the things that you truly enjoy doing? Because if you're doing something that you truly enjoy doing, then it's not work. Think about it. When you watch a tennis player and they are playing their heart out to win, think of all the things that they go through to get where they are. How it takes years of playing at a junior level, at a senior level, even at a amateur level, just to get where they are to where they can make the big bucks. And anyone who plays in a tournament like the Australian Open, the U.S. Open, the Wimbledon, they have put in years of training before they even get there. And then when they do start playing in those tournaments, they have to work their way up and beat some of the top players to get where they want to be as a big moneymaker, as the one that can get the contracts to design clothes, to be the face of certain product ads where they get income and they get input on the different things that are put out there. Give yourself content direction. When you know that you're writing content for your target audience who are in the awareness stage of their buying journey, it'll be easier to figure out what to talk about. You'll want to use keywords like prevent, upgrade, improve, and so forth, because that will get their attention. For example, how to prevent ingrown toenails can help inform your audience about your method of preventing ingrown toenails for cutting them correctly. Here's another thing to think about. What if you're a career coach and you want to help someone decide whether entrepreneurship is for them or whether or not they should just work for someone else? Because it depends on people's personality. Some people have a very difficult time being an entrepreneur and being the decision maker on everything in their lives. But if you understand where they're coming from and why all of this works to the way it should, then you will understand how, in so many ways, what someone does, how they do it, how they achieve their goals, depends on their understanding who they are. And if you can kind of give them an overview of how all of these things work, then guess what? You're helping someone make the best decision possible within the limits that they have. And you're helping them also to live the best quality of life possible, because the type of income you have and being paid what you're worth is what it's all about. And for some people, that's understanding how your time has value to it, because there's a lot of people who turn around and waste time. Why? Because they just do not understand how every minute, every hour that goes by where you are wasting time, you've also wasted money. Having a way. Okay, so ensure that your published content consistently and regularly, that is, that you should consistently be posting, whether it's on a daily basis, whether it's 3 or 4, you can do 3 or 4 articles in a day, whether or not it's one article a day for a week, or even just 2 or 3 for a week, or if you do not want to spend the time writing the content, using a place like Fiverr or iWriter, where you can pay someone to write your content for you, because that is what they enjoy doing and what they spend their time doing on a consistent basis. Ensure that you publish content consistently and regularly. Let's go over this again. Having a way to map the content to a stage of the buying journal can help you learn how to publish content consistent and regularly. But the real key to this is not trying to be perfect. No one is perfect, and the drive for perfection can make it hard to finish anything because it's never good enough. Let things be good enough and get it done. Makes you listen to your audience. This is probably one of the most important types of all, or tips of all. When you listen to your audience, you will get a lot of ideas on how to market to them at each stage of the buying cycle. Start a Facebook group for your niche audience and ask them questions. Encourage them to ask questions, and then keep a list of the questions and answers so that you can use it as fodder for all your content needs. Okay, let's go back and let's discuss this, because you can do this. What you do on Facebook, you can do on LinkedIn as well, because you can join groups in most social networks. And when you do, and you ask questions, you get an idea from those people who answer you what their needs are, what their pain is. And you get an idea of how you can formulate something to help them understand and get what it is that will sell, such as your product. So, one of the most important tips of all is that to listen to your audience, the best thing to do is to start a group for your niche audience and ask them questions. Encourage them to ask you questions, and then keep a list of all the questions and answers. Now you know why it is essential to understand the buyer's journey. And you next need to know exactly how to execute it. So, how are you going to execute selling to your audience once you know that they have a problem that needs to be addressed? Well, it's by educating your audience. It's by understanding, and this is where content is. This is why so many entrepreneurs will buy something from someone else where it shows them how and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to let someone else write their articles for them, promote their articles for them, and actually help them put up a website. Or what they may do is become an affiliate with someone where, what are they doing? They're actually helping someone sell their product and they're earning commission off of it. Or using their website to write articles about those products, and also linking their websites to the affiliate website through the advertising and the articles that they do about those products. So, let's go back and let's think about this and what's the cycle that you want your buyer to go through. It's the awareness cycle, which usually buyers are trying to get information about their problem and trying to identify their symptoms so that they can find a solution to their problem. This is a time when they may not even realize they have a problem. Consideration is when they realize they have a problem, and now the buyer needs to know what their problem is, and they're trying to research to see what's out there and what products out there can help them solve their problem. And lastly, it's consideration, because now that they know they have a problem, then now they're going to research and consider all the products out there, and they're going to look for the best product that can help them solve a problem. So what are you as the seller of a product going to do to help you help them reach the best decision they can? And you want them to, and this is why when you write a program, you need to understand exactly how, and maybe question other people in the field to find out what they did to solve a similar problem, and how you can take all that information and put it together to create one of the best products out there to help someone solve their product. So what are you doing? You're educating your audience, and you're doing this through the content that you write. And also, remember, you need to publish that content consistently, and you need to develop relationships with your customers so that you're giving them the best value for their money. And when they perceive it as being the best value, then what they will do is they will always come back whenever you have new products to sell. And remember, you can go to my website, and that website is the #1 personalcareercoach.com. And you can sign up for both individual or group coaching, and we can sit down with you and help you put together a plan on how you are going to take your business from where you are now to where you want to be in the future.